It's the Ryder Cup of 10-pin bowling, and so far some thrilling bowling skills from Team Europe, who won the team game 243 to 212, and then their captain Dominic Barrett leading from the front with a pretty comprehensive victory over Wes Malott, who didn't look bad himself. A little bit later on, we're going to see Parker Bone III, the American team captain and the most decorated of all the players on this lane. He's going to be up twice against Martin Larsson, and plenty more to look forward to. But up next, it's two rookies. How will they deal with the pressure here on this Manchester stage? Let's find out with Cass Edwards and Wayne Boyce.
So here we go then, the two debutants. Jesper Svensson, the red-hot Swede in fine form, up against Kyle Troup. Svensson, who hit 2 strikes in the Baker match and certainly took to Weber Cup life very quickly indeed. Kyle Troup with an open frame and a spare. But anybody, Cass, who was worried about not seeing a two-handed bowler at this year's Weber Cup in the absence of Osku Palermo, they're going to be in for a treat here with Svensson and Troup.
Yes, 2 double-handers. One's a left-hander, one's a right-hander. Jesper, as you can see, is the left-hander. A little bit ungainly at the line, but the man that gets lots of revs and lots of strikes opens up with a big 30 pins.
Well, including the 2 he got in the Baker. That's 3 in a row now for Svensson. Just 21 years of age. European #1 ranked player in 2015. Some 215 points clear of Dom Barrett, who was second. Kyle Troup, big shoes to fill, replacing the likes of Tommy Jones and Bill O'Neill in the USA squad. It's a rather nervy first ball in the Baker. Well, he should spare that, Cass, but not ideal.
Yeah, it leaves the 2-4-5 and the 8-pin, sometimes called the bucket. So tricky to the spare left-hand side of the lane. He's going to have to play across the heavy oil. It's light on the headpin, as you can see. And of course, with the pace of the ball, it didn't break anything up at all. Potentially an open frame. Oh, how about that? He can't believe that, and nor can I. A 6 spare worth 16 pins. Crikey, this is worth seeing again. This really should have been an open frame, but you got a messenger coming back. And it's taken that 8-pin away. And of course, yeah, I meant to do that. Of course I did.
Never give up. Tattooed across the forearm. And he certainly didn't give up there, did he? But once again, it's advantage Europe. Jesper Svensson. Weber Cup debut, but he's playing like an old-timer so far. Oh, and this time, just leaves up the 7.
Yeah, really hit the pocket hard with that shot, didn't he? Utilising the full left-hand side of the lane. Bearing in mind, this is the 3rd game we've played on this dressing, so the oil may well be moving around a little bit now, but certainly didn't seem to affect Jesper Svensson on those first couple of shots. The spare ball much harder and straighter. 9 spares worth 19. Score moves to 49.
It's a big game, this one, in many ways for the USA, because if Svensson was to win this and send Europe into a 3-0 lead, it would mean that Europe couldn't go in behind overnight. 6 matches in this first evening session.
You can see how much Carl wraps his hand around that ball, when in fact both hands around that ball. Leaves a solid 10-pin in the corner.
Still he awaits his first Weber Cup strike. Kyle Troup. He wears some pretty colourful clothes normally when he's in action. Of course, very much wearing the United States uniform in the Weber Cup.
Just rips the label off that ball by so much rotation on it. Takes the spare away. It's worth 19 pins.
35 though, 14 behind Jesper Svensson. He won the PBA Tournament of Champions back in February. $50,000 was the prize for his 3rd PBA title and his first major. 20 years of age then, he became the youngest ever winner of that PBA major. Beat Mitch Beasley in the championship match, 226 to 177. He's the one they're talking about at the moment, and that's why. Second strike for Svensson.
Absolutely rips the rack with this one, doesn't he? Look at the rotation on the ball, which comes roaring back, even though it's light on the head pin. Gets the mix, starts up the chain reaction, and away they all go. 10 pins. It's frame 3 for Troup. Again, you can see his hands wrapped around that ball, give it an awful lot of rotation, and that's a great looking shot right in the 1-3 pocket, and he'll be pleased with that.
Yeah, that'll do the 25-year-old the world of good. His first strike here at Event City in Manchester. A new venue, remember, for the Weber Cup. After 11 successive tournaments in the Barnsley Metrodome. Now Jesper Svensson.
Yeah, just take a look at Jesper Svensson. He's got a 5-step approach. His slide foot finishes way back from the foul line, which is very, very unusual. Look at that, it's almost 2 feet back from the line. But he'll take another strike. He's not worried about that. What a grand style.
Well, this is tough for the United States. Lost the Baker. Dom Barrett in electric form, and Jesper Svensson, the newcomer to this successful European team, remember. Showing why he's been called up. 3 strikes in 4 frames. And a spare for Jesper Svensson. Troup left playing catch-up. He's got his first strike here at the Weber Cup in the last frame. Certainly needs another one. Finds the pocket brilliantly. And it's 2 in a row for Troup, who has finally arrived here in Manchester.
Yeah, no, that's really good. He's playing a tighter inside line. His favoured line is outside, right-hand side, but it's tight down the middle. Look at that. Fraction light in the pocket, but carries all 10. Very, very happy boy.
Just keeps Jesper Svensson honest. And can he hit a 4th strike in 5 frames?
Absolute the hottest property in the world at the moment on any bowling lane is this young man. So he's won the Tournament of Champions in America and shoots yet another strike. That's 3 in a row for Jesper, and it's 30 pins a time.
Just sensational stuff from the PBA Rookie of the Year 2015. Fantastic first season on the American tour with 2 titles and cashing in 6 out of 9 events. He really has exploded onto the world bowling scene. And it doesn't make life any easier for Troup, who's found a bit of form again in the last 2 frames, but it could well be too late given the way that Svensson has started. Can he make it 3 in a row? He can! 125, he stays within 14 of Svensson, and while he keeps striking like this, Cass, it will continue to ask questions of Svensson.
Well, people talk about the 2-handed bowlers. We've got two of them here, a righty and a lefty, and they're both ripping the rack at the moment. Both looking very, very lined up, shooting lots of strikes. Svensson's working on 4 strikes in a row. Sorry, 3 strikes in a row. Won the Brunswick Euro Challenge way back in March this year, Europe's biggest tournament, when he was over in Munich.
Great shot again from Svensson. 4 in a row. And he, like his captain Dom Barrett before him, barely flinching.
Well, he's so lined up, isn't he? Is he going to miss, we ask ourselves. He can max out at 289 if he can strike off for another 4 strikes.
Yeah, of course, worth reiterating. No more bonus frames at the end of the 10. It is just a 10-frame shootout now, isn't it?
Yeah, under this World Bowling scoring system.
Troup working on 4 in a row and gets it! Well, where's Malott? There he is, produced some pretty good scoring in the previous game against Dom Barrett and came out second best, and Troup threatening the same here, but he stays at least within touching distance of Svensson, but he needs a mistake from the Swede.
Certainly getting the reaction playing that middle part of the lane where the heavy oil was originally, but as I say, this is the third match that's been played on this lane. So that lane oil may be moving around a bit, but at the moment neither player is having any trouble finding the pocket. Svensson coming from the left hand side, launches into that ball, launches it into the 1-2 pocket, but leaves the 6-pin standing. Unfortunately, it was just a tad high, so this can only be a spare. If it is a spare, it's 9 spare worth 19 pins.
Well, that is maybe the small margin of error that Troup was hoping for. Just 3 pins in it in terms of the maximum score now.
Well, you can see there Svensson's still wiping that oil off the ball, so there is obviously quite a bit of oil on the lane. And there you can see it smudging on his ball on the track, but he rolls it down.
And of course, being left-handed, that side of the lane gets an awful lot less traffic than the other side, doesn't it?
Well, Parker Bone's the only one that's been playing out there, so yes, you're quite right, Wayne. Just the 2 guys playing that left-hand side.
So a spare for a 188. If he can strike here, he could move to within 3 pins here, Carl Troup. And then it really would be game on for the last 3 frames. It's a big shot, this one, for the American.
Certainly is. Starts middle of the lane, just pushes it to the right a bit, but not too far.
Leaves the 10.
Rings the 10 pin in the corner.
Well, that is frustrating. That means he can't really home any advantage from the spare that Svensson bowled previously. Really did need the strike there.
Absolutely, yes. One thing I've noticed about Carl, that when he stands with his ball, he always touches his left hip with his left hand, as if he's drying it off before he wraps it around the ball. That's a nice spare worth 19 pins.
So that run of 4 successive strikes brought to an end with a spare in the last frame. Needs to stay on that strike trail to ensure a 3-0 lead for Europe. And that really will be frustrating reading for the Americans when you bear in mind that Malott and Troup have bowled pretty well in their singles matches. This one not over yet though. And it's another great shot from Svensson. And the pressure returns to the shoulders of Kyle Troup, who again, Cass, had that little look through the door that we were talking about in the first game.
I think this is just a fraction lucky, because that's rather high on the head pin and there's a split standing there, but he's managed to set up a chain reaction and all pins have gone. Oh yes, you lucky man. He's very happy with that. It's 30 pins in the bank.
Really does need all 10 this time.
Yeah, look at the maximum scores, 278 to 264, if they can both strike off.
Oh, it came in a little early and was heavy through that head pin. Shrug of the shoulders and a roll of the eyes. And again, there's another big step in the right direction, perhaps, for Europe.
Just overreacted as the ball got to the pins. It's gone high through the head pin. Leaves the 3 and the 6 standing. It should be a straightforward spare. And if it is, it's worth 18, and it is. So, coming up to the foundation frame, frame 9, it's 26 pins adrift, is the American. Svensson looking for another strike. Foundation frame, frame 9. 26 pins in the lead. Can he rip the rack? No, he can't. Leaves a 6. Crikey. Hard and fast. A light hit on the head pin. Leaves the bucket right hand side. 356 with the 9 pin on the back there. He's got to be quite accurate here. He's got to cover that 9 pin at the back and he's not very happy, and he believes that may have given Troup a chance just to catch him in the foundation frame, possibly overtake him in the 10th frame. See, a spare here can only be 16 pins, and that's if he spares it.
Oh, it's a great shot from Svensson.
Certainly was, yes, and utilises all the pins. It's 16 for that spare, and he moves to 234. He's still got the maximum 264, so he can with one more strike he'll shoot out
Penultimate frame.
Troup. Shoot out Troup, yeah.
Really does need the lot here. Had that run, didn't he? 4 successive strikes from frame 3 through to 6. Lovely shot, just when he needed it most. And he moves to within 12 pins.
Gave it a bit more width this time, got a great reaction in the back end, carried all 10 pins right in the 1-3 pocket for the right-hander, the two-handed right-hander.
Big shot though for Svensson. A shot that could ensure a 3-0 lead for Europe. And after what happened last year, Cass, this would be the worst possible start for the United States.
Well, from what I remember, the first session last year was a 5-1 win for the Europeans, and they're halfway there now. Big shots for Svensson. Strike wins it.
Strike gets it. Never in doubt, was it? The hottest property on tour at the moment extends Europe's lead to 3-0 in the 2016 Party Poker Weber Cup. And the first 2 singles matches, Cass, from Don Barrett and Jesper Svensson have been nothing short of sensational.
Well, the European team is so strong, and they're probably the best 2 strike makers of the lot.
Great shot from Troup. And it's welcome to the Weber Cup in 2 very different ways for the 2 debutants. But it is all going so well for Team Europe so far. They lead the USA by 3 points to 0. Match number 4 is coming up after the break.